Hi guys, it's Housewife in Heels. So I am going to be doing my annual Christian Louboutin Socate review because if you are familiar with me and my channel, then you would know I absolutely love a Socate, which is contrary to most of the world, at least most of the people who own and wear the shoes. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The Socate is probably one of the most famous Louboutins that are currently available. They typically come in the black and the nude patent leather, and these have quite the reputation online. They are known as some of the best looking shoes and also some of the most notorious, horrendously awful, painful shoes that you can possibly wear. Now, my experience in Socates has been a positive one, but that is not the average wearer's experience. So I am one of the lucky few, so to speak, who can actually get away with wearing them with a relative amount of ease, but that has a lot to do with my foot shape. And whether or not a Socate is going to work for you is largely determinant on the shape of your foot. So that's going to segue my little story into how Socates came to be. So if you are unfamiliar, the Socate was created for the world famous supermodel Kate Moss, who is just an absolutely gorgeous woman, and of course she'd be wearing shoes like this. But the story goes is that she would often be out in the Pigalle 120, but they didn't particularly suit her since it had a wider, shorter toe box, and that created problems for her with her having a very narrow foot, and she also had longer toes. So her toes would be kind of shoved in, and it wasn't a pleasant experience for her all the time. But she loved that killer stiletto sort of look that the Pigalle 120 gave her. So she hit up Mr. Louboutin and she said, I would really appreciate it if you made a pair of shoes for me. And that's where the Socate was born, with the long toe box, the teensy weensy little dramatic 120 millimeter stiletto, and the very narrow toe box because Kate Moss has some very narrow feet. So, with that being said, these were intentionally designed for a woman with a narrow foot, with longer toes, and that tends to be the type of people that work well with these shoes are people with narrow feet and long toes, and I happen to be one of those people. So if you are genetically blessed with a narrow sort of, I believe the term is Grecian foot, then a Socate could work out for you so long as you're a comfortable, avid heel wearer and you aren't necessarily intimidated by a staggering 120 millimeter height, which I know for a lot of people that can be quite intimidating. I was not one of those people. I was confident and determined to wear them and wear them with pride, and that I did. I will never forget my first time trying them on. I was just instantly drawn to them. I had to give them a go. And I remember the saleswoman at the Louboutin telling me most people cannot walk in them, and my immediate thought was, watch me. And that's what I did. I tried them on. I walked great in them, and I walked out the door with them. But that being said, I know that's not everyone's experience. I do not recommend the Socate for people unless they are people who are really passionate about heels with sort of a extreme height, because to be honest, a 120 with a single sole, and by single sole I mean no platform, it is a bit much for an average person to wear. I would really If you're someone with an average foot, I would recommend getting them stretched. I know, for instance, people like Violet Chachki, who is a famous drag queen. She doesn't exactly have the world's teensiest, narrowest feet because she's a man. So she has to go and get her socates stretched out in order to be able to get them to accommodate her feet. So it is possible if you don't have the world's teensiest, most delicate feet, but you have to take special measures in order to do that. Now, if you're paying $800 for a pair of shoes, it kind of sucks to have to go find a cobbler, pay them money to stretch the shoes, but is it worth it if it means you actually get to wear them and they not absolutely just tear your feet apart? It might be. I've never had to have my shoes stretched, but for some people, that's what they have to do. Like people like Violet Chachki, who are really just, what's the term? They're really locked and loaded and they really want to wear their shoes, so they're going to do what they have to do. But a lot of people tend to run into issues with these with sizing. Everyone and their mother tells you to size up. Now, if you're someone like me, when I first purchased these, I accidentally purchased these a whole size too big for me. So in reality, I wear a 35 and a half in these. My first pair was a 36 and a half. So if you are worried about sizing them appropriately, I would highly recommend watching my sizing video. I show you guys a pair that fits, a pair that is a half size too big, and a pair that's a whole size too big. So that goes into depth. I don't show any shoes that are too small for me because I've never ran into that problem. So I've never owned any that were too small, thank goodness. But I would imagine that if a pair were too small on somebody, it would be fairly obvious. So, along with that, my review is that these are not for everyone. They are really meant for a niche portion of the population. And from my understanding, the socates are actually slowly being phased out. I have heard this from a few people at Louboutin boutiques. I hope that's not true, but I understand why, since no one can really wear them. So I'll just kind of treasure the ones I have and hopefully acquire more if I find them out in the wild when I get the money to do so. But only meant for a niche portion. Only purchase them if you really are brave, you have tried them on, you feel confident. The whole works. I posted multiple reviews on these already. But if you have not already, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my Patreon. It is only $3 a month. And the more support for me means more shoes, hopefully more socates here in the near future. And if you want something tangible, you're not looking for extra content, then I also have a Poshmark closet with hundreds of items available. Some of them I have previously owned, but I handle each and every sale with love and all that. So if you are looking for an item from me, go ahead and check out my Poshmark closet. But other than that, I will get into the try-on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here I am in my walking demo at the grocery store. You guys really enjoyed my previous socate review about a year ago, give or take, at the grocery store, so I thought I would do it again. I'm more than likely going to be making these reviews annual because I love these shoes and I never want to stop talking about them. But this is probably a very unrealistic portrayal of an average socate use, since most people do not wear them out to the grocery store, but I guess I'm not like most people. Now, I really only take them out if I need to do a quick errand. Like, I don't go and wear these out all day running errands. If I need to do something like I made a sale and I have to go to the post office, sure. A quick grocery run and I know what I'm getting and I'm not just strolling around, sure. So, don't get the wrong idea and think I'm wearing these out, running around all day, every day, walking nonstop. That's completely unrealistic, and I try to be as realistic as possible, at least for my experience on this channel. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me walking around in my socates and showing I actually do wear them. and I appreciate any and all support I get, whether it be on Patreon, whether it be on Poshmark, whether it just be on YouTube. I appreciate all of it. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next pair of shoes. Bye!